Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a...
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Rolling in my whip past your E Boulevard, watching posers set and flex, hoping to act hard, praying some of their denials find a way to stick, writing articles, denying, eating pain chips. Yeah, who does that?
What about all charges that the state listed? Reading proof, that's the thing that gets you twisted. Fraud, extortion, now there's more threats, saying the mafia is coming in your whip.
He told the world that the FBI will be calling, because the mafia finds the truth appalling. Spinning your conviction in every detail, speed running another attempt at getting re-jailed. Imagine literally taking advantage of a bloody man, misleading him to be the face of your scams. His biggest mistake, thinking that lawyer cared, as you threw his life into further disrepair.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, their grift.
Launching buzz wars on Iraqi stations while pleading due to the very things they accuse others of. And when you stand up, they make threats. Wow.
If a certain lawyer is a joke, then they're the punchline. But let's take a minute and truly try to define paging the dumbest ecosystem. Repeat perps, forthwith known to all the planets as the derps.
These are fun times ending.
And we make a dramatic entrance. You like that? Oh, man, you thought I wasn't here. And then poof, like a ninja, baby. Like a ninja. How's it going, folks? Welcome to Ninja Time. No. So dumb. Oh, Lord. Welcome. Welcome to, what day is it today? Is it Tuesday already? I have lost track. No, it's Wednesday. Look at that. I was like, wait a minute. Tuesday, where am I at normally? Oh, yeah, Megan's channel. That explains yesterday. Welcome to a Wednesday. Welcome to the Hat Rag, where you sometimes lose a day. Oh, how's it going, folks? Hope you're doing good, man, by the way. Hope you are doing good. You know this, by the way, weirdly enough, it is my 7th day. That means an entire week without caffeine, which is very strange. Very strange. Weird world. We are uncharted territory here. No Cokes. That is Southern, by the way, for soft drinks. If you do not know that. No soft drinks. No sugar. Oh, Lord. Well, some sugar. I can't say no sugar, but no candy and stuff. You know, I can't say no sugar because I had some Sprite. And Sprite does count. I guess, you know, I have to throw that in because when I got sick the other day, like really ill, I took a couple of drinks off of Sprite. So I guess that technically does hit the sugar in the soft drink. Man, it's hard to count that. I'm talking about like, oh, it's not like I was seeking that out. I was seeking it out for sickness. Even a doctor's like, yo, dude, get you some Sprite or something. But no, man, I've switched over to ginger ale for that mess. Oh, it's been crazy. What a weird world. Oh, you know what else you haven't heard lately? Like, check it out. You haven't heard this noise lately, you know? I've been good. So you haven't heard that either. I've been doing nothing. Nothing. I've been a good boy. It's so crazy though. Oh no. But it is weird. I'm trying to take health seriously. I figure looking at they gave me this thing. I have to log down all incidents and stuff. You know, I've had some I went to my cardiologist. I figure on the end of this, we'll be talking about some kind of blockage. We'll figure out what's on the end of it. But man, aside from the meds, once I get adjusted to this stuff, man, I'm in better shape. So that's fascinating, huh? Now, today has been a really interesting one too. You know why? Because we had BBB forced to give up that proof. Now, I will say that the judge seems tired of everybody in this. He got on to Randy. He was like, "Yo, your responses to BBB, they were not professional. Don't be doing that. This is indicative of what this case is. Both of you need to like be professionals." And oh man, we haven't even gotten to the spicy thing that we hit last night, where it's going to show that some of that idea that's been forged where there's not enough professionalism was based on lies. Oh, that'll be fascinating when the judge rolls into that, I suppose. But oh, it's been a weird ride. Now, the funny thing in this, like I said, if you're ever curious, and props, by the way, a few people send this, but Max Lab was fast on it today. Fast, like lightning today. So props to you, Max Lab, man. So fast, you beat everybody to like the punch with everything. But check this out. If you ever want to know what something is on the docket, you can actually just read this part. It gives you a good breakdown of it. You know, you have the date, you have what's going on, and then of course you're going to have your documents that come up. But on this, you'll notice now I can't wait for the ecosystem to be like, "Oh man, look, there was a denial in part, so we win too." No, you didn't. The denial is because the other part was moot. That means it's already been settled. The other part, the parts they were holding out for, you know, the ones they were arguing about, saying we're not going to come off of that. Yeah, they were told, you got 14 days to do that. So you can always look at the breakdown. You can tell what the order number, you can actually see like your doc numbers, what's going to come up on it, what it's in response to. So if you're ever curious and you just want like the cliff notes to the case, just look at any document that we pull up. Look at the case number, go and find the case, and you can look stuff up that way. I would always recommend that. Again, you can watch a place, you can see what's going on. Give me 1 second. I was trying to find something. I dropped something here. Oh, you want to hear something funny, by the way? This is crazy. This is kind of random here, though. The other day, I broke the cord that goes to my headphones, and it's like apparently it's a freaking $34 cord. I was like, what? You know, because it's not some cheap piece of crap. So the other day I was sitting and I was listening like a Megan show. I had not listened to somebody else speak through it, but it sounded like my signal was going out over and over again. Now we did have like a Streamlabs kicked me off yesterday for no reason, but amidst all of that, I couldn't tell like half the time if there was an audio problem. I was like, what in God's name is going on with this mess? It sounded so bad. It sounded like I was losing signal. Oh, fun times. Also last night, we were talking about, this was a good document, by the way. Apologies, I had to leave a little early. I'm still getting accustomed. If for some reason, let me just say this too. If for some reason I have to end quickly, it's because I am, here, let me blow this up. It's because I am adjusting to medication. It's low blood pressure medication. You know, it takes my blood pressure and it rams it up. So the other night it only lasts for about 4 hours, of solid, like, doing stuff. And typically in your day, I don't know about you, but I'm awake longer than 8 hours. You know what I mean? So I had not adjusted my doing to that, my work time, because I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and I don't work until 7 as far as this is concerned. So it really jacked me up. So today I'm trying that differently, and it feels like it's much better. That's what happened to me on the mic that other day. I figured that out finally. Apparently, like, all of that, again, this doesn't push to the underlying issue, but what was happening there is, doing stuff, low blood pressure, bam, literally going out on the mic. So yeah, I was right about that. So more energy. Listen to that. You can hear it now. Oh, but I still got to get all the way used to it. So anyway, all of that being said, I just wanted to point that out in case for some reason, if I'm like, hey, I got to go, I don't want people worrying about it. It's just freaking getting used to all this crap. Now, this document last night, we've got a brand new one, like I said, but I do want to point this out because I did not get to talk enough about this last night. And this was fascinating. You talk about an absolute call out. This document was about expert witness. You have BBB talking about all of this stuff has to deal with coming off of your information, coming off of anything. Again, Randy and really Jeremy. I mean, I say Randy, but Jeremy, he's at the point where you got to put up or shut up. You're going to have to build your case and prove that you can go forward. You're going to collect and show all your cards. Now, as part of that, of course, BBB is going to be forced to turn over certain things. It is fascinating. All of the ecosystem, by the way, have all been sporting new hardware. All of them are. I mean, that is really weird, isn't it? You have a time when people are looking for all the information out there, and suddenly everybody is updating their old computer. Everybody. And it's fascinating because you have people in the ecosystem, like they're, the people that excuse all their behavior. They're like, no, that person, they've had that computer 5 years. They needed something new. It's like, well, that's really interesting. Oh, that person too. Yeah, they had an old computer too. That one, oh, they needed an upgrade. It's like, how many of them need one right at the same time when you're looking for proof for something? That seems a little okay, especially when people like Marla were making statements like, yeah, I got rid of everything but a few documents when Shah returned. That was her words, by the way. She's like, I dumped everything. Like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't say that publicly. But again, there was a filing asking for amended motion for an extension of time. Now this, wow, it was good. It was absolutely fascinating. Now like I said, our new document response is about document 52 here. But here they're talking about how they want rebuttal expert witness. Are they going to do it? Aren't they going to do it? And it's fascinating because it's like they forgot this little thing. They forgot that they talked about their expert witness. They talked about it on live stream. And
they didn't forget that. They didn't forget they talked about it. They deleted themselves talking about it.
What's up, by the way?
What's up?
Yeah, see, I didn't get to talk about this last night. I'm like, no, I need to talk about this one.
Do I still sound super weird to you?
No, I've got a.
Did you get the new cord?
Well, it's the Walmart brand. It's not a good cord. I can. Yeah, I'm like, man, Megan doesn't sound like that. This is wrong. You know, like, and for some reason, since I use regular headphones, you know, I have certain headphones I like to use for it. That the audio cords that they sell at Walmart, they're these fat jack ones too. You know, so they'd only plug in halfway, so my speaker keeps going out on one side, off and on. I'm like, man,
That's
are you
not
kidding
good.
me? Yeah, but tomorrow I will have my regular stuff, so that'll be good. Oh man, are you doing all right, by the way?
It's all a shit show here. Like, everyone is so sick. I probably can't stay very long, but I just wanted to come in and hang out for a bit.
Yeah,
My eldest daughter has now come down with it real hard. She was sick yesterday, but the fever got a hold of her today. 103.7.
Oh man, I went to
that's bad.
103.4. Yeah, and that's a bad place to be.
It's a bad place to be. I had to get her in
Especially
the
as a kid.
tub, and because I had given her all the acetaminophen and all the other stuff, and it wasn't working, and I was like, okay, well, it's the tub or the hospital. So and she was just, you know, shaking, shivering.
Yeah.
She is just, and throwing up, because, you know, when you get a fever that high, it's just awful. So I am ducking out to check on her, and all of the rest of them. They're all sick. Every single one of them. It's terrible.
So really what's happened is you've barricaded yourself in a room, and
Yes.
you're triple plying, like you've got a garbage bag tied over your face. You're like, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Myself.
I honestly don't know how I've not gotten sick yet. I don't. And it's a miracle.
It's one of those weird things, though. I notice, like, moms sometimes, you know, it's like they duck it, you know, they manage to like duck and weave. It's kind of like they're running between raindrops. I was like, how do you do that?
You know, it's interesting is because this year I haven't gotten anything that the kids brought home.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little something when I was traveling to Utah, like just a little bit of a head cold or something, but that went away quickly. But nothing they've brought home has affected me yet. It's kind of amazing. And yes, knock on wood, it's kind of amazing, but I kind of feel like I'm immune this year, and I don't know why. But we'll see.
This cord sucks so much when you knocked on wood. It sounded like it was coming from another part of the room. I was like, oh, that's not right. Crappy headphone cord.
That's funny.
Man, I went back in. Like I said, I didn't get to talk much about this document because I had to duck out last night. That sucked too, man. You know, I was looking forward to this document last night. You know, I was like, man, this one is so good. So golden.
Oh yeah, it was excellent.
The end especially, I was like, finally. The new one, I will say though, like the judge, again, I don't know if he's gotten to this document yet, but the judge is tired of the BS. I mean,
yeah, I read that part in the new order, and I don't necessarily think that it's very fair, especially because, boy, he came down on Randy pretty hard. I haven't heard him come down on Bruce that hard.
Well, especially like Bruce has been lying. I mean, straight up. Actually, you know what I feel like in this, and it's very weird. I feel like he's treating Randy like a professional lawyer, and he's treating Bruce like a pro se lawyer.
Yeah,
like, you know, he's representing himself or something. It's weird.
It almost feels that way. It feels like he's treating Bruce like he has some kind of mental deficiency, and he's treating Randy like he should know, you know, all the things, which he does because he's practiced in federal court. But I mean, why is he giving Bruce the kid glove treatment? It's weird. And I think that for the one email that Randy sent that might have been a little testy, there are so many other examples of Bruce doing ridiculous and unprofessional things that I don't understand. He is holding, the chat says he's holding Randy to a higher standard, and I don't understand how that's fair.
Well, I mean, it's strange to think you have one lawyer that sits out here all day, every freaking day, building an ecosystem to ruin somebody. You have another guy that is fighting a battle in a courtroom. And yeah, one is not the other. One is definitely not the other.
It just doesn't seem like the judge understands what's going on outside of the courtroom. And he hasn't given them the opportunity to tell him, because he doesn't want anybody added to the case, because he wants it to just be simple and easy, but he's not understanding what this case is really about. The case is about the ecosystem, and it can't really be fought without adding that in. So I don't know.
The case is about people that, they defamed. Yeah, they interfered with business, but how did they do that? Well, they've stalked, they've harassed. That's another thing that's killed me as a discussion point lately. People keep going back to that Walmart incident. And I'm like, look, have you ever had a protective order against another human being? I have. I've been there before. And I tell you, we don't judge a protective order how you get to it. Person violates however they get there. Would you tell, like I said, like a random young female, let's go, would you tell them if they walked in Walmart and somebody that had been stalking and harassing them, they were there, would you be like, hey, that person right there, they have no right to be afraid. They somehow are creating incidents that it would be ridiculous. But since Jeremy puts on a good face, since Jeremy's a guy, he's a big guy, he puts on a good face about it, you don't apply it the same way. But the protective order applies one way. It's a one size fits all.
Yeah, it's interesting that people do look at it like, well, Jeremy's a big, strong man. He shouldn't be afraid of John. We know John carries a gun in his pocket at all times. So, and he's made threats against Jeremy's life. Ones that I believed. Multiple threats. I don't know why on earth he shouldn't be held to the protective order. Why is it that everyone's like, well, Jeremy should have just walked away? That's not how these things work.
You don't. I've been in a store where somebody has come into store, or actually I walked in and they were in the store rather, and when they come in, I didn't realize that, they were in there. And when you find out, it's this horrible feeling. You're like, oh my God, it's a sense of dread. You're like, holy shit. And it is their responsibility to leave now, get out. They threw away their right to go out there and shop. See, I've seen the whining. I've seen the comments by, well, the people that's against. I've seen them in chats being like, oh, it's interfered with our lives. Yeah, it's because you interfered with somebody else's life. You lost the right to fucking go out and do whatever you want. A court found you guilty, and they told you to never be around this dude ever. So
they don't listen. They just refuse to do it.
They treat Jeremy like he has a protective order against him. In fact, they spin it. They spun it for the longest time as he did have one, and that's I don't know, it just frustrates me. When
I don't know how Jeremy is juggling all of this crap. He's got the case in federal court. He's got Ohio court to deal with. And then these state court actions. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. When does he get a break from this?
Because, these people, now they brought in their little mean mugging losers that they bring into, and they're, they slander and vilify some of the stuff they say. I'm not surprised by anything they do, by the way. Garbage, garbage in, garbage out. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, I was watching reactions to them, and I did find this fascinating. I noticed they won't call them, the ecosystem is going to the degree to hide the flagrantly criminal one. Richard.
Oh,
yeah.
Chips?
Oh, yeah. So, his name, I'm just throwing his name on there, Richard Lutton. They won't call him by it. Instead, they call him, quote unquote, Dick. Now, again, Dick is short for Richard, probably is. I've seen the picture, but it also, word-wise, it's short there too. You've seen the picture of the guy, not a picture of the wee-wee, thank God. But, yeah, but Oh man, we never talked about this. Let me pull this up while we're there. Paint chips. You did see his you did see his denial of eating paint chips, right?
I did.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's one of the funnier things I've ever seen. Yeah.
I've never had a person write that, well, this guy over here, he says that I ate paint chips, but that's absurd because why would the Fed have to spend that? Well, no, he was like, why would the Fed have to spend $5 million to take me down? I'm redacting
a guy who ate paint chips.
I mean, that's his answer. He's like,
oh, God.
You know, if I were a dude who ate paint chips, it would have been harder to take me out. Like,
I don't know. How do they keep finding these mentally unhinged people to join the ecosystem? I mean, this person does worry me. Like, I really do. I think that this is a mentally unhinged, unstable person that I think is dangerous. And how do these mentally unhinged, unstable people keep finding each other? Well, it's insane.
They probably have some kind of secret handshake or like a, I don't know, like a dog whistle, like a real one. You know, we can't hear it because, you know, we're not fraud con artists.
Yeah, and all the weirdos come running when they hear the whistle.
Oh, this is my favorite. I had to pull this up real quick since we have.
And it sounds like this. That's the weirdo whistle.
Yeah, it plays in come the clowns. You're like, oh yeah. And they feel like the Pied Piper. Oh man, that's what it is. That's why they're all joining. Bruce found the weirdo whistle.
The weirdo whistle.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I say something like, hey, maybe he's blowing, never mind, I shouldn't say the rest of what I was gonna say.
He's blowing the weirdo whistle. No,
yeah,
that's what he's blowing.
He's wetting the weirdo whistle. That's it.
What?
Whoops. Allegedly. This is so good, though. According to Luthman, it sounds like a.
I like how he writes about himself in the third person.
Yeah,
like
that was amazing. You would think somebody else wrote. Nope, he wrote it about himself. But
he writes about himself. He interviews himself. He has
Luthman also. It sounds like a really out of shape superhero. You know, it looks like it. Like, I don't know. He looks like a little butterball turkey. He's like, oh, look at that little living butterball. It's so crazy. Who has given Tug the nickname Louie?
Oh, that's so cutting.
I know.
Such a cutting nickname. How will you ever survive that, Louie?
I'm telling you. I don't know. Oh, man. I've got to recoup. Just give me a second. Tug's recent coverage was half-assed. Why? Because he obviously, like, this is the reason why it's half-assed. Because he couldn't have eaten paint chips. Louie has taken to calling me paint chips. You know, this is so weird. Like, again, he is quoting himself. This is written by him. Oh, so
quoting himself. I'm sorry, but only people with DID do this. You have to have a dissociative identity disorder to write like this.
I don't know. Maybe somebody told him that Dick was short for Richard too many times. It hurt him somewhere. I don't know, but I can only assume he thinks I ate paint chips as a child. It has some mental deficiency.
Yes, we do believe that. Yeah.
I didn't think you ate them as a child. I thought you were still going to the buffet.
Going to town.
I swear to God. It's a novel theory, but easily disprovable.
Is it though?
I mean, really. If I was mentally, and I redacted the word there, by the way, certain word, if you know, if you're so inclined and you want to tell them you don't like the choice of word, that's fine. But why did the Fed have to spend over $5 million to put me away?
Because he was that mentally unhinged and
Yeah. You know what, Fat Boy?
dangerous
You got
just to
caught.
society.
You got caught, though. I mean,
Oh, God. This
oh,
guy.
Lord.
This
And
guy.
we've only, I might as well say this too. So when I'm going to make sure everything's good to go, but after everything's solidified and good to go, Shizzy and I only went over about half of what was there, but maybe not even half. We didn't get to the really colorful, interesting stuff. You know, all the stuff we read in the background of convictions. Oh, there's more conviction. There's more.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more.
Yeah, and it gets really crazy. And they're all shopping. The reason I bring this up is because they are promoting. They don't use the dude's name, though. Again, they use the word, they call him Dick now, which, well, it's the only time anyone's ever called Bruce. Never mind, I can't say that. I keep going to say really. I'm like, no, I can't say that on the microphone.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's look at this document. Are you hanging for a few?
Yeah. I'll have to check on Hangry in a minute, but I'll be in and out.
Now, this order is pretty. It's pretty good, considering this is telling Randy, hey, everything you wanted here, you're going to get that. You're actually going to get everything. You can see it right here off the order, like straight up. You know, plaintiffs filed a motion to compel the document for production of documents. That would be Doc 52. Defendants have responded in opposition. That would be document 59. Now, no hearing is necessary, and this matter is ripe for resolution. For the reasons below, plaintiff's motion to compel will be granted as to the 3 remaining disputed requests for production. Now, all this, like I was saying, it notes granted in part, but there were only 3 things that are actually disputed. So the reason it says granted in part is because document 52 was asking for, God, I can't remember how many. I think it was all but 2 that they were refusing at the time. Yeah, so background. November 12th, 2024, plaintiffs served defendants with requests for production of documents. That would be, again, 52-1, 52-2, 3, blah, blah, blah. They responded with a litany of objections. Plaintiff has. Do you want to read some, or do you want me to read?
Sure. Plaintiff has now moved to compel, arguing that defendants have wrongfully failed to produce the requested documents. An examination of the objections made by defendants reveals that they suffer from 2 flaws. First, defendants' responses to plaintiffs' discovery requests begin with several pages of general objections. It appears the general objections were just cut and pasted into the response without much thought as to whether they actually applied here.
Weren't we? I mean, again, we were talking about this, and this is yet again something that we were right on. We keep told how we're not lawyers. You know, we don't know what we're talking about. Well, hell, we're doing a lot better than these general objection garbage.
True. Such general objections violate the local rules and are improper, stating that an objection cannot be set out generally for an entire set of discovery requests. See also a bunch of other cases, recognizing that general objections asserted to all discovery requests are improper. Thus, defendants' general objections are akin to no objection at all and fail to provide a basis for refusing to provide plaintiff with the requested discovery.
Indeed.
It's like a double negative. It just cancels itself out.
Yep. It's like you didn't do any work at all. You're just like, yep, cut and paste. Well, go in and do the work. See, that's an insult to judges too, because judges are like, don't waste my time with this BS. You know, if you're just going to cut and paste every item, because they're actually asking the judge to go in and to figure out what boilerplate to attach to it. They're not doing any work at all.
Mm-hmm. You want to keep going there since it's going to go to the next page? Second,
nearly all of the plaintiff's discovery requests were met with boilerplate objections by defendants. More specifically, defendants objected to virtually all the discovery requests as overly broad as unduly burdensome and not reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence, vague and or ambiguous, overly broad in scope and time, lacks sufficiency. It is. This is exactly what they did. They attached this to almost everything. Lacks sufficient specificity to know what is demanded, encompasses information and documents which are protected by attorney-client privilege or work product privilege, seeks to impose duties beyond those arising under, again, we know the federal rules of. Defendant's objections are improper. This throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks type of boilerplate objections has been consistently recognized as ineffective. Consistently. Again, I mean, anybody know, you don't even have to be a law student to know that this is a wrong approach. Like straight up, we knew this was a problem. The law in the 11th, again, this is this case here.
My favorite part about the response that Randy gave to this before this was that he quoted Judge Bolitho like 2 times in rulings on other cases about this exact same thing.
That's how you win, man. You find judge.
If you can find your judge, in a case like it, you're good. You're golden.
I just think, like I said, I think the judge is looking at both lawyers here, and he's like, you guys are not acting professionally, and like I said, I think he needs to hold Bruce to a real standard. Like that's
I don't think that he's paying it real close attention if he thinks that both of them are acting unprofessionally. I have seen Randy get a little bit snippy at a time or two, but the unprofessionalism is coming all from one direction. It's coming from Bruce. He's openly admitting to wasting 5 months of the court's time with his stalling techniques. He's writing documents that, he's not supposed to be writing. The things he is doing in this case, refusing to speak on the phone, screaming at counsel, screaming at Randy's assistant,
lying in documents,
screaming in front of the screaming in front of the court reporter. There's multiple witnesses to his behavior. It just hasn't been brought up to the judge yet. And that's unfortunate because he's not seeing what's happening.
I think Randy sometimes suffers from one thing, and it's he's too nice about this stuff. Yes, he served him up in a document finally, and bravo to that. But I think sometimes, like somebody like Bruce, they're not going to back off. They're going to promise you. You remember when he was in one of the depots, and he was like, "Oh, I won't do it again. I won't do it again." And he does it again. It's the same damn thing. If he's caught at it, the only way that's going to stop is actually, I don't think it'll stop, just to be honest. I mean, look at what we're finding out about the thumbnail litigation, for example. Look at how far that went.
No, it's not going to stop until a judge actually holds Bruce accountable for what he is doing. He is instigating this kind of thing. He's instigating the unprofessionalism. And then when Randy finally snaps, and then he gets held accountable, but not Bruce. This is really starting to frustrate me because I don't think that the judge is seeing what's going on here.
I think it has to be pointed out, though. I think you have to have a hearing, point the shit out, be like, yo, judge, we need to have a hearing. We need to talk about this. This is what's going on. This is what's going on outside of this and more. Because as far as being forced to comply and everything, oh man, I mean, like this, Bruce is being told, sorry about your luck, son. You're going to turn over everything unless it is covered with, confidentiality. Unless it's there. And I'm sure you're going to have some arguments over what's covered in confidentiality still. And even then, I'm sure there'll be arguments. And even then, there won't be some correction about the bullshit that's being pulled. Anyway, all right, the law of the 11th Circuit makes it clear that boilerplate discovery objections are tantamount to no objection being raised at all and may constitute a waiver of discovery being sought. Indeed. Objections which state that a discovery request is vague, overly broad, or unduly burdensome are by themselves meaningless and are deemed without merit. So again, what he's putting there, it means nothing. It's just word soup. Who cares? And another one, broad-based, non-specific objections are almost impossible to assess on their merits and fall woefully short of the burden that must be, 1 minute,
All right.
borne by the party making an objection to an interrogatory or document request. Boom.
The prohibition on boilerplate objections. Boilerplate. No, it's not boilerplate, Megan.
Boilerplate chips.
Boilerplate chips objections is not new. And defendant's counsel should have been aware of it when he drafted the objections in this case. The court will not wade through the boilerplate and identify which, if any, of the litany of objections may actually apply to a particular discovery request. Thus, defendant's boilerplate objections are akin to no objection at all and fail to provide a basis for refusing to comply with plaintiff's discovery requests. Although defendants have attempted to provide specific objections in their response to plaintiff's motion to compel, their attempt is unavailing. As another court has explained, the court will not rely on post hoc justifications for a party's boilerplate objections. Thus, to the extent defendants tried to raise specific objections in their response, the court finds that the defendants waived those objections. The objections here were facially insufficient, and thus more specific objections might have been made are now waived. Ooh, that's a tough lesson to learn. So because you didn't make your objections specific enough, all of them are now gone.
Yep. Nothing
as if
matters.
you never made them.
Yep. That's a screw up and a half is what that is.
It's a very bad screw up, yes.
Yeah. Because defendants' objections to the 3 discovery requests at issue suffer from the flaws identified above, these objections are overruled. Instead of lodging specific and well-reasoned objections in a manner that complied with federal rules, local rules, and case law, defendant haphazardly threw out generalized boilerplate objections. This is why the judge didn't like that right here. This is what I was saying. It is not the court's job to figure out what specific objection could have or should have been made and then to rule as if those objections had been made. See, it's not the court's job. That's the judge saying, dude, when I look at this, you're supposed to lay out an argument and I'm supposed to figure out if that well-researched argument actually applies. Not you throw everything again, spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. It is the court's job to look at the objections that were made, and the objections that defendant made in this case were improper. Thus, the court will grant plaintiff motion to compel as to the 3 remaining at issue requests for production, request 5, 11, and 12. That does not completely end the matter, however, because plaintiff's motion to compel requests as an award of expenses under Rule 37, blah, blah, blah. When the court grants a motion to compel, it must, after giving an opportunity to be heard, require the party whose conduct necessitated the motion, the party or attorney advising the conduct, or both to pay the movant reasonable expenses incurred in making the motion, including attorney fees. And you have, well, let's look at that, stating that an award of attorney fees is mandatory under, here, give me a second, you want to hit that?
Yeah, under Rule 37, unless one of the exceptions applies. But the court should not order payment of expenses if 1, the movant filed the motion before attempting in good faith to obtain the disclosure or discovery without court action, the opposing party's non-disclosure response or objection was substantially justified, or other circumstances make an award of expenses unjust. Here the court has determined the plaintiff's motion to compel should be granted, but an award of expenses would be unjust under the circumstances. And you know what? I actually think his reason for this is that she's indigent. I don't think it has anything to do with the following sentence. I think it's because they have pled to him that she is poor and disabled and indigent, and he can't get that out of his head because he's already said it.
I think he thinks something's wrong with old Brucey boy, because he's like, isn't this the guy that moved for Gainsborough to be switched
Gainesville
to
to Gainesville.
Yeah,
Gainesville to
Gainesville
I
to
wrote a
Gainesville.
song last night when you were gone. I wrote a new song called Gainesville to Gainesville. If we hit 50 super chats, I'll play it for the chat. It's hilarious.
Making gains.
It's hilarious. It's so good. Good night, Hangry. Go to bed. And make sure you close my door on your way out.
Okay.
Love you. All right, let's see. More specifically, and this is the part that I really think is just unfair. It's just unjust. More specifically, the court believes that plaintiff's counsel does not have entirely clean hands. According to defendant's response in an email exchange regarding attempts to resolve some of the issues raised in the motion, plaintiff's attorney responded, "I will never stipulate to anything that has no basis in the jurisprudence of the world."
But
Please,
you notice with according to defendant, according to, so we're taking the word of the guy that just flagrantly lied. And again, we haven't gotten to that document, have we? No. The document from yesterday, we don't know exactly how that will sit, if not. But I mean, again, I think those lies, they start to, they start to add up. And you have Bruce again. He's out here, he's telling a tale in documents, and you got to shut him down. You got to shut him down in the moment. You got to set this judge aside and be like, look, this piece of shit is lying to the court.
Yeah, exactly. And like, according to defendants, like, I wouldn't believe anything they told me. And where's the context for this entire exchange? What was it that Randy was being asked that he responded, "I will never stipulate to anything that has no basis in the jurisprudence of the world. Please stop acting like you're not an attorney."
Well,
I mean,
and
is it unprofessional? What was it in regards to? I seem to remember that. I remember it being something ridiculous, as usual, as per usual. Bruce's demands, ridiculous.
It's fascinating to me, because this is the guy who at first lied. They're not having communications. Then we found out they did have communications. How much communication did they have, by the way? See, all of this is this entire mindset based on the fact that they did have didn't? I mean, what's going on in this judge's mind? How does he perceive freaking, Randy? And again, if he thinks that Randy's been refusing to do what he was told, that could be a problem. I mean, that can be a real problem later on down the road. So you got to set that shit straight. And again, I think he did a good job with that in the last document there. But, you got to, this judge has a specific mindset there, and it can be a problem. And again, like you said, I think really when it comes down to it, he found a reason to not force a party to pay that should have had to pay. It doesn't matter.
I think that's what it's about. I really don't think he's that ticked off about this email. I think it's just an excuse for him to not give sanctions to somebody who's indigent that he feels sorry for. Period.
It's not how the law is supposed to work.
No, it's not.
Those buzzwords. That's the problem with buzzwords. Buzzwords are a poison. That's why, when we go through them, I call them as such, buzzwords.
Yeah, and frankly, like in the Pensacola deposition and stuff, like he kind of came down on Bruce a couple times, but he could have been way harder on him. And now he's railing Randy in this motion for one line in an email. Yeah, and he says that was an entirely unprofessional response.
He's getting onto both of them though, because he's like, it's emblematic of the petty bickering. Like, that's all it is. It's the back and forth.
Yeah, and it's not petty bickering. Judge Ficus, please listen. This is not about petty bickering. This is about a lawyer who entered this case for his own gain and fame. He doesn't give a crap about his client. He doesn't give a crap about any of this. It's because he got denied from being on our YouTube channels. That's what this is about. That's what the whole thing is about. He just wants us to say his name over and over again. And here we are doing it.
And he's taking the word of BBB here because he goes with the "if further appears that plaintiff's counsel failed to respond to an email sent." How would you base that? How would you know? Oh, because BBB noted that in a
it says it further appears, though. It doesn't say that you're sure of that. It further appears that plaintiff's counsel failed to respond to an email sent by defendant's counsel in an effort to resolve some of the issues raised in the motion to compel. I would be willing to bet money that did not happen.
Had an hour and a half that we know. Like this is money being spent. Can you imagine sitting and having to listen to fucking Bruce for an hour and a half, make, again, boilerplate arguments like we saw? It's got to be absolutely upsetting. I would be pissed off. I'd be like, I don't want to ever talk to this moron again.
I know. Awful. Just as the court will not countenance the lodging of improper boilerplate objections to discovery requests by defendant's counsel. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. It will not reward plaintiff's counsel for responding unprofessionally to attempts made by defendant's counsel to resolve the issues raised in the motion to compel. I think Randy needs, again, he needs to set this straight. He needs to go ahead and again, he put it, that document was good. I think you need to make sure that the judge saw it, though, and read it for what it is, Not that it's just petty bickering.
Right. This is the problem. It's not petty bickering. He needs to look deeper into this case. He needs to find out what's really going on. And reading the transcript, by the way, of the Scott Stark deposition or the Shara Wolf deposition should give him some of that insight. How about all that stuff that Shara said about being intimidated by Bruce and threatened by him?
Oh, nothing happened. I mean, Jesus, the stuff that they have aimed at Shara. I get that the federal court works, however, but you cannot tell me that there is supposed to be a world where a person that came in and testified has these people threatening to do what they have threatened and continuing to threaten with, again, counsel right there. And that just plays? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know. But anyway, again, this is all just about sanctions, though. Like, otherwise, there was no world where LMNOP would have gotten sanctioned. This guy was not going to make her pay. Even it's so frustrating because the actions should demand payment. They should. And if we would have been talking about Jeremy, you better believe he would have ended up paying, But explaining that, the court retains the power to find that under circumstances may award expenses unjust, so where the prevailing party also acted unjustifiably. Accordingly, so here's what we get with this. Accordingly, it is ordered that the plaintiff's motion to compel for the production of documents is granted in part. Now, the reason it is granted in part is because, again, at the time that it was written, you had disputes with everything. Like he had just, again, thrown spaghetti at the wall. They had since worked out some of that, but Bruce refused to come off of that. So the granted in part to the extent the defendant must, within 14 days of this order, produce to plaintiff any non-privileged documents within their possession, custody, or control that are responsive to plaintiff's request for production for number 5, 11, and 12. So that's it. Like everything, because of the way that Bruce filed this, he screwed up. It's a huge, like with this, again, that part about sanctions, I'm sure that'll get brought up a bunch too. We won somehow. How did you win anything? You lost big with this one. In fact, it's your lawyer's incompetence that lost with this one.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing. But plaintiff's motion to compel the production of documents is denied in part. Now, why? Because It's moot. It's already been decided. They've already done this regarding, again, these other items. So they've already fixed that. So the judge didn't have to do anything with it. So again, it's not a you won part, you lost part. It's you won it all. It's just already been decided. And that's your order there. Like I said, that's a big order too. Because every request is granted. You typically don't have that.
No. And everything was, and the denied part was just because they had already produced them, right? Because they've already responded to.
Yeah, they worked it out. I can't remember what 5, 11, and 12 are.
We should look that up. Yeah, what are they?
Let me see real quick. I don't know if I have that document real easy on me. Give me 1 minute. Let me see if I do. I might have 52 labeled away. I noticed in some of the court document filings, there were a few that have not gotten labeled in there. And some of them, yeah, there's 52. Give me a second.
I'm working on grok images for Gainesville to Gainesville. You guys will not be disappointed. My Gainesville to Gainesville song is so good.
Okay. It'll take me a minute to figure out which document I want. I don't need 52A. I think it's 52.4. Nope, that's the letter. I'm just trying to find one that has it all spelled out. Oh, here it is. Got one. All right, give me a minute. Got to download it, and then we'll have it. I'm taking one from the just where one of them was asked for everything. That way we'll have it.
God, I love grok.
I love making images with that stinking thing.
I know it's so good.
What's funny is I'll be out and you can hit the refresh button on it over and over. If you don't like what's made there, you can just keep doing it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, what were the numbers here? Give me a second. I gotta find the numbers. I've got them. I just have to pull this up right. What was it? Lord, I got too much stuff pulled up here. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so it's 5, 11, and 12. All right, let's look. Here's request for production 5. Here, let me put this on the screen. I said it took me forever to do that, but it's worth it. Request for production 5 was all phone records. Oh, so this has to deal with all their phone records. That's what they were arguing about. Remember, they didn't want to turn over any phone stuff.
Records.
Yeah,
Okay.
They were like, oh, that'll give away everybody that they've had contact or calls with. Huh. What's interesting, we were talking about that too. And we were like, well, the judge may find some of that. It needs to be reworded, because the way that it's stated, maybe it is overbroad, just a little, maybe not.
But look how stupid they are for not being specific, because now it doesn't matter. You don't get any objections. You have to turn it all over just the way it is written.
Yep. I mean,
wow.
Look at that. Their objection, again, you can see their boilerplate objections. It's the same garbage every time. But yeah, it was all phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you used during the relevant time periods. Okay, so that makes sense. You want to know all the all phone numbers. You want to have all phone records for that. And all documents, including mobile phone billing records, showing the calls you made or received during the relevant time period relating to the allegations in the complaint or plaintiff's responses in opposition to your motion for summary judgment. So again, all calls that you made, all calls that you received. Like we were talking about, maybe that would be, overbroad. Maybe that did need some refinement. That's the thing. Usually you throw something out there and you kind of argue about it. You haggle over some stuff. You usually don't have everything that comes back. This one, they got hit with that one. Let's see, what was the other? 11, I think. That's a lot.
Yeah, what was 11?
11. Documents sufficient to show the number of online views and or impressions of any post. So they were complaining about, they were like, any post whatsoever? Like that's going to be unfairly burdensome. Well, I guess you got to go do it now.
Now you have to go do it.
On
How much you
any-
want to bet? How much you want to bet they'll be like, we couldn't find it. We don't know. We don't know where to look for that.
Yeah, they better not be snaky about it, because Jeremy and others, they are very aware of just how many Facebook and other accounts that these people have been using. So if they come back with 1 or 2 accounts, oh no, there are a lot more. And you know about it, and you get to bring that up if you try to dodge it. But it's with any social media account, including but not limited to YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, etc. So it's any whatsoever during that entire time. Holy crap, man. That's going to be fascinating, because if they don't come back with the correct numbers off of that stuff, they lie and try to leave things out.
I don't know.
And
I'm losing faith in the judicial system. I feel like if they're going to come back and it's not going to, they're going to come back and it's not going to be complete, and the judge is going to be like, oh, well, moving on.
I don't know. I think that you've had the judge look at them like maybe they're bickering lawyers instead of the scope of how far BBB is. But when I look at denials, I actually look at what's happened in the courtroom, BBB is taking a beating in there. I mean, what has he won? Again, he got attached to the case. Okay. That's amazing. He gets to be part of, he gets to be the lawyer here too. Woo! He managed to not get added. Wow, that's amazing. So we have to stick to our 16 pages and 2 people instead. What else has he won? I mean, really.
What was the other thing? The other number was 5, 11, and what
12.
else?
This one, 12.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
So did they already say they were going to give up the GPS information then? That was the one I really wanted to know
there
about.
was a response to it, but we don't know how the response went, unless that's when they said that they don't have any. So I don't know if there's going to be argument about that. I'm not sure. We haven't been privy to certain steps in the middle, like what the haggling actually, where that went. Yeah,
right. We don't know yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, just because they said, yeah, we'll do something, we don't know exactly what came up with that. I'm sure, Randy, you never ask a question. This is something someone else brought up in another case, and I don't think I've hammered enough on this. You never ask a question that you don't at least have most of the answer for. You may not have the complete answer, but you know enough of it that if they lie or they trip themselves up, you can corner them and you can box them in. So with this, the mobile phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you used between January the 1st, 2021 to date, and all documents, including mobile phone billing records showing the calls that you made or received between those 2 dates relating to the plaintiff by name or otherwise. So they were complaining. They were like, well, how would we know if the call actually, it dealt with him or it dealt with something else? Well, unfortunately, you didn't make that case. So I guess you're going to have to turn them all over.
That's unbelievable.
That's an epic screw up, is what
it is. An epic screw up. This should answer some questions though too. If they actually do turn it over, I don't have any faith that they'll actually turn this stuff over though. I just don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't.
But she, remember when she was like, she said she had a different phone and like the pictures, oh, they're on the other phone. So it should be interesting to find out how many numbers we're talking about.
I'm curious about that. I'm actually curious about how many they'll turn over, because I imagine the way that she was talking, there were quite a few devices and numbers. That's the way I took her discussions of it. I don't know.
I don't know.
But you don't turn over a bunch. We'll see how that goes in the aftermath. Ugh. All right. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to cover today? I think I just wanted to go over that today, really. And that other document, talk about that other one a little bit. But I wanted to.
Yeah, you didn't get a chance to really look at that.
Yeah, I might go over that other document more tomorrow, though. Because that new one. I think I'm gonna super chats, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Like this,
Nicole, I'm not getting blackpilled. I always have been. I've been covering court cases for years, and from what I learned in family court, it's a total shit show. It's never going to get any better. I had a little more faith in like federal court. That's not family court, but not much. Let's just be totally. Now, in fact, today I was what I was doing today, Tug? While I was taking care of the kids and whatnot. I was listening on my headphones to the most recent hearings for the motion in the Karen Reed case. And the motion that they were talking about, they were arguing, was whether their expert, the one who has more information now on the deletion of how long to die in the cold that was Googled, that new information says that was deleted. And they kept, the Commonwealth kept saying it wasn't deleted. It was on a different browser page. It's all very technical, right? But I'm listening to this and I'm watching that stupid judge sit there and just give the defense nothing but attitude and misery. And it's like, this woman has been framed. It is so clear that she was framed by a group of people who call themselves her friends. And nobody in Massachusetts wants to hear about it. They're just all too busy. Auntie Bev, she wants to get to her, whatever she's got going that night. She wants to get back to her soap operas and her wine. I don't know. But she treats the defense attorneys so badly. I was actually thinking about watching it on my stream with you guys because you'll just see me screaming. That's the kind of thing we've been inundated with recently. I mean, we had the first Karen Reed trial, which was a total travesty. The judge didn't even read the two verdicts, which there were two verdicts on two charges and one hung jury on one charge. And she gets retried on all three. There's so much injustice. That, I have no faith in the system. When they get a good one, when we get one the good guys win, it's like a miracle.
I know that's why ultimately, when we're talking about this stuff, when we talk about false accusations, for example, that's why they're so bad. That's why it's so damning, because you can end up with people being falsely imprisoned. We've seen it so many times. So I don't have a lot of faith there, but at the same time, sometimes someone makes a case so clear cut that you're like, well, let's cover it. Let's look at it. And I better not be disappointed in this damn thing. At the end of the day, I better not be. It does bother me in cases too. You're talking about injustice like that. That bothers the shit out of me. But it also bothers me. We're talking about buzzwords, where somebody gets to play, I'm indigent. I'm old. I can't be that bad of a person, can I? It's like, fuck, you say you can be. You can be much worse than anything that's been described.
But these buzzwords, they keep using these buzzwords to describe her, and it makes people like this judge feel some kind of way. And so he's already making decisions to ease her trial, to make her life a little less difficult. He's done it twice now, 2 times. So it's clearly a bias he has against towards people who are indigent, which I understand. No judge wants to be, bankrupting people in his court, but the real story here is not indigent. She is not indigent. That is not the story. And even if she were indigent, which I don't believe she is, because there's all kinds of money, thousands of dollars that are unaccounted for, that are rolling in every night for her. Where is that money going? Nobody knows.
So are they telling me that if you're poor and old, you get a pass? You can treat people like
you can
shit
do
and
anything you
scam them
want.
and ruin.
Yeah, exactly. It's bullshit.
I get sick of all that. So, I mean, I am frustrated as far as the system goes. This entire, I mean, if we're talking about what's happened in Levy County, I mean, that shows you a failure on an entire level, not just the police. You're talking about prosecutors. You're talking about judges. I mean, we've seen the whole spectrum. And we've had, again, an appeals court agree with us on just how bad that is. So, yeah, I think we've already gotten the show on that. And it is frustrating to watch. Like I said, I hope for a certain outcome. I think that Jeremy has a strong case in here. And I think his evidence is very strong. But like I say a million times, I can't tell you what a court's going to do. I don't know. You know, courts they're fickle. Judges, they have a lot of power. Like some of them make good decisions. Some of them are like the grudge judge, and they don't make good decisions. So we just see how it plays out. Now, again, in the federal court right now, Jeremy is overwhelmingly winning. You know, you dropped a RICO, whoopee. You know, they're going to have to come in, though. They're going to have to show everything with tortious interference, make sure that hangs. Because the judge was like, this is right there. You mean to make sure that hangs. And the defamation stuff, man, that is locked in. I mean, you can't tell me. Well, I guess they could, but they better not tell me that that's not enough. Because if that's not enough, I don't know what is.
I think that, it is kind of hanging on a thread right now because the judge is asking for, he's going to allow another summary judgment motion after discovery.
Oh,
so if the discovery about the defamation isn't good enough to his opinion, he could grant the motion for summary judgment. Now that's unusual. That would be an unusual move. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen very often. But I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling about all of this.
I think the defamation is pretty solid because we're talking about life ruining items. We're talking about well-established life ruining items. So, I mean, these are things that you don't have to prove damages on either. They are so damaging just on their face. So, right. If we were talking about other moves, maybe we would talk about that. But the stuff that they threw out, the signs, oh man, that's amazing. And then them potentially getting stuck with that expert witness. Oh my God. That stuff.
The expert witness thing is hilarious. I can't wait to see the judge's response. I hope it shakes him out of this opinion of his that, these people are that Bruce and his clients are, what's the word? Blameless, because they ain't.
Oh, I think what has to happen is the next time that you have a conference with the court, you got to work in the fact that, Bruce lies. Like you've got to point that out. You be like, look, he's lied to you in documents. He's lied about what's happened here. And you've taken him at his word. And you can't do that. Maybe you can. I can't believe you're taking them at their word anyway. I mean, these are lawyers. At the end of the day, are you kidding me? Oh, he's not going to talk to me, Judge. He said this mean thing. Really? Yeah. Are you kidding me?
It is very bizarre. It's very bizarre to me that we're watching from our perspective where we have all of this other info and the judge, doesn't. And he's treating this like this is just a nice old lady, It's like, sir, I feel like being able to grab him by the shoulders, be like, wake up.
I think he went with poor lady. It'd be nice. I don't know.
Maybe not poor. Nice, but poor.
Yeah. Because, he did make that one of the major points to not allowing these other people to be added was it would have left her without a lawyer. And, well, that would have been unduly burdensome. I also think some of it's camouflage. Some of it is the judge doesn't want to be stuck with this case for another however many months. If he would have added them on, he's like, I just want this case to be over with. And
the chat is having a meltdown. The chat is melting down. They say that there's new docs on Pacer, but don't we already have them?
Maybe there's something brand new on Pacer.
All right, let's look. Calm
check it
down. I see you. I see you, chat.
I don't see
But
you.
instead of just saying Pacer, can't you say what it is? That would be so much easier if you would just say.
No, they're right. No, you guys are right. Okay?
Guess what's there?
I wasn't paying attention. Again, I'll blame it on the new meds. I'm just talkative and jabbering away. Yeah.
But what is it?
It's Pacer. Come on.
No, but guys, these things
Pace
have
car.
titles. They have titles.
Pace
you could just
car.
say, guess what? There's
I haven't looked.
2 new documents or whatever, and they are called what?
Pacer. They are called Pacer.
They're not called Pacer. Stop it. All right, let's see. I see.
No, I'll give it to the chat. I wasn't paying attention. So
motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction by Lynette. Internal deadline for referral to judge if response not filed earlier than 2/19. Motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. Did he submit something? And then memorandum in support of motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction and with exhibits. Okay. So I guess he did. He put in a motion to dismiss. Wasn't he told not to do this until after discovery?
Does it have a document number with it?
Yes. 67.
Yeah. I mean, is there a document it's referring to? Like the one that...
Yeah, it says 67. 68.
No, I mean, 67 is the newest document. I'm talking about, is there in the description, is there a document that it's commenting on?
It says 67.
Oh.
Memorandum in support of 67. Motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. And then there's exhibits. So maybe it's the exhibits that we don't have, that we haven't seen. But I don't appear to have the document yet, just the Pacer screenshot. So I can't tell you because I don't see the document.
I'm not sure. I have it in front of me.
And there is an order for deadlines, it looks like. But that's already, that order. Okay, so the order, we're reading that we have.
Yeah, we just pulled. Give me a second. That was number what? 6. We have 65. No, wait, that was 66 because this is 65 was the one from yesterday. That was 65. That's why I like being numbered. And 66 was here's the see, this is here. I'll pull up what we had already. That way, maybe not pull it on the screen. You see, this is what we had already. We had 66. That's the document that we went over. And there was the deadlines, set deadline, RE 66 order. So
okay,
it's
so
the document
since
production
then,
by.
there's 2 new ones.
Okay.
And Max Lab said he sent it to you on Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, let me check. Facebook is weird sometimes. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Oh, 68. Yep, I see it. Give me a second. Thank you, Max Lab, by the way.
One of the things that I hate about covering court cases is that the public always knows more than the judge or the jury gets to know. Yep. And I understand the rules of evidence and whatnot, what comes in and what doesn't. But in some cases, a lot of stuff is withheld from the court, from the jury, things that I don't think should be, like the Delphi case, for instance. There was a confession in that case that was withheld, that was not allowed in. A confession that somebody else confessed to the murders. And that was not allowed in. There was so much garbage that wasn't allowed in the Delphi case. Other suspects, other, eyewitnesses. And that's the thing that bothers me the most.
He's trying to paper this case, dude. Mm-hmm. That's what he's trying to.
I feel like he was told not to put in a motion to dismiss until after discovery. So
Yeah,
why did
actually, because
do
I'll
this?
show it to you. I'll pull it up. I see what they're trying to pull here.
What's
I
he
did.
doing?
Check this out. Well, I'll show you. Give me a second. It's a bunch of bullshit, but I'm not surprised. Lord, is that document this long? Holy shit. Give me 1 second. I thought that document was shorter. Good God.
How
I feel
many
like
pages is it?
I think that's 14 pages on there, but it's got a bunch of add-on files too. I didn't realize it was 14 freaking pages. I thought it was. I looked at one of the auxiliary items, and here, I'll pull it up. Here we go. Just give me a second. Sorry, Chad. It's taking me a minute. It's happening in the moment. So,
well, they asked for it. They can't complain.
yeah,
You guys don't get to
over.
complain.
We're not going over the whole thing tonight. There ain't no way we're going over it all tonight anyway.
You're the ones who were like pacer. So no complaining that it takes a while to pull it up.
They're asking for this to be removed under FRCP 12B. They say under that, on the grounds that federal diversity jurisdiction under 28 USC 1332 clearly does not exist in light of dismissal of the plaintiff's extortion claims, eliminating a possible recovery, the now established falsity of the plaintiff's statement alleging online posts by the defendants accusing plaintiff of being a child predator, which false statement was made in an affidavit to overcome the defendant's first 12B1 motion at reliance, which the court denied. This is why I'm saying, look, anytime Bruce wants to call you a liar, he files something. Every single time. He papers this case. So, I get being nice and following rules, but this bitch does not. And see the plaintiff's admission that the allegations the defendants used their defamatory statements to persuade customers to stop supporting the business did not occur. Plaintiff's admission that even though he had not attempted to contact Whatnot to find out the defendants did anything to interfere with his contract, an admission to gutting the $75,000. It's yet another attempt to get this dismissed. It's something to read over.
I thought that he wasn't supposed to put this in until after discovery. I could
he's
swear the
trying
judge
yet
said
another
that.
one. Yeah, he did. He told them,
I could swear the judge said, don't do this until we're done with discovery. Didn't he?
Yep. Yes, he said that it was dismissed without prejudice after discovery. It said it clear as day.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
It said it clearly. It doesn't matter, man. I mean, all they do is that they just keep throwing shit out and hoping that something will stick. They really are. They're trying it with this too. Oh, we'll get an answer to this as well. It's so funny. God, they've got
frustrating. All right, so I'm not crazy. Jeremy says yes. The judge did say that.
He did.
Well, that should be, easily denied then, I guess. But again, this whole thing, it's
just ridiculous. This again, if they've been told not to do something, if they've been told not to do it, then
right. But then he ignores. See, this is what I mean. He ignores everything and he gets away with it. The judge does not come down hard on him at all when he does this shit. Now we'll watch and see. That we're not going to hear the judge get pissed about it. He's not going to call him unprofessional. He's not going to do any of that. He treats him kind of like somebody with a mental problem.
He's treating him like he's a pro se client. I'm telling you. Like,
it's
typically
weird.
That's how a lot of times you give these pro se clients, and you treat them like they have some kind of mental deficiency. You do. That's pretty much when you step into that ring. It's like going up against going up against the people in advanced, at advanced level, and
Yeah, Randy gets treated like he's an advanced kid. Bruce gets treated like he's in C building. That's what we used to call the dummies at our school. They would be in C building.
Yeah, we had the.
That's what he's treating you. He's treating them like the kids who can't pass regular English. They've got to be in remedial.
That's what we had. We had the. I liked that even back then. We divided it. We had the people that didn't give a shit and they couldn't pass anything, and then we had the people that had other needs. So you differentiate.
Talking about the ones who don't give a shit.
We're talking about
those kids.
Yes,
the ones who would come to school high and drunk.
Oh my
those
God.
Kids. The seventh year seniors.
One time. Oh man, I remember 7th grade. Having to go in and get some, I forget, beakers and some other crap, from the science lab. And there were 2 of these professional losers in there, doing their business. And I was like, oh, gross. Yeah. And of course, that one gets knocked up that year. Of course.
God, gross.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, did I have to see that? I saw.
When you said science. Doing their business, I thought you meant a drug deal.
No, I meant doing their business.
Oh, that kind of business.
Yeah,
it's business time.
Actually, man. So when I was in middle school, they first instituted busing, and the area, the schools in downtown Nashville are horrible. They are terrible. None of these schools, they should do something about them. It's terrible that kids go to them at all, because we would go out there and it was so bad that one day we got delayed. They told us, well, you're going to have to wait to go home. We call your parents, but since you're bused here, you ride the bus so long, we'll wait. We'll get a follow-up bus. So it took us forever. We finally found out it was because somebody robbed our bus driver while they were waiting on us outside.
Oh my
the school.
God.
Yeah, they got mugged, beaten, and robbed. I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I was like, thanks for busing me to this nightmare school. And again, I mean, nobody should have to go there. That place was crazy. I've never seen a running track with barbed wire around it to keep out the weirdos. Yeah, they'd have to keep the crackheads out and stuff. So the crackheads and the winos, they would take it. They would get mad about the barbed wire thing, so they would throw freaking bottles onto the track, bust glass on it, so we couldn't use it.
So you couldn't even use it.
Yeah. I was like, what a bunch of garbage.
That is insane.
And that was a middle school. Like I said, nobody should be using it either. We just got a really good look at it. That's wrong, man. All right, I'm gonna super chat up. We'll talk about the document. I mean, we'll look at it, but chat, like I said, you all were right. Thank you, Max Lab, by the way. As always, appreciate you, my friend, for sure. But I don't want to be held freaking hostage by a Bruce document tonight.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
it's more of his whining.
Yeah, it's again, it looks like something that was improperly thrown into the court yet again. I'm sure that the judge, like Jeremy said, yes, but I know. I remember when we read that, because the judge was talking about holding off until. Can we read that one on here, or I can't remember.
He told them, I will deny any motion to dismiss until we have discovery. I remember him saying that. The motion to dismiss is going to get denied. It was in the footnote.
It was in the footnote. Didn't you?
It was. It was the footnote denial.
Yeah. Was that the footnote they were all having their little?
I feel like it.
About? I can't remember. There were two orders. There was the order. I don't know. I'm going to get all that together. I actually need to put. Hey, let me hit super chats and we'll figure that out later. All right, Rebel Bird, thanks, kicking it off, $5. Appreciate you, Rebel Bird. By the way, hey, thanks to the mods too. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, this is it's an interesting time right now, so I appreciate you. Green Veggies, thanks for the 2 there. TikTok, indeed. TikToking, not to be confused with the app. And Chris, thanks for the $5 there. Breadstick money, so the haters get mad. Well, thank you, Chris. Kicking that out there. PDW, thanks for the $20 super sticker, by the way. Thank you for that, too. We had a Cash App as well. I'm going to say TK, thank you. Also for your Cash App for the breadsticks, too. Thank you for that. Fallen Hero, thank you for dropping that gift, though. Appreciate that. Saw that and fall in, too. Appreciate you. Emma, thanks for the 18 months. That's a long time. Thank you. Hope you're feeling better today. Those meds sound rough. They are rough. They're very rough. I feel like I'm forcing my thoughts through a fog. So if my words sound a little strained or strange, it's an adventure, but it's getting better. It's only been a couple of days. Day 3, I've got to figure out I think I had the time periods wrong too. Like I said, I have to have it timed for when my output is, so I wasn't, these meds, basically when you take them, they last for about 4 hours, that's how they kick. So you got to time that 8 hours around when you're going to do stuff. I didn't do that very well yesterday, but I think I did better today.
It'll take some time. You sound better today, though.
Man, my blood pressure without it. So I was curious. I was like, man, I wonder what it's, what it's set up at. So yeah, I took it right before. This was in a setting number, by the way. This was with activity. Without it, it was like 93 over something. I can't remember. I was like, 93. Holy crap, that's terrible. And then after taking it, it kicks it back to like 117 over, which is close. I have my favorites. Thanks for the 2 there. Hearts for Buck. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, she's out at church actually today. She's having fun. She loves to go and hang out. Have a good time. Mel, thanks for the 10 months there. Appreciate that. Nothing like being a Tugs thug. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. Rimrad, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Boom, that was good. I saw those hit too. I didn't know where they came from before. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Wendy, what's up? Thanks for the 11 months there. Hello, Tug and Chad. Happy to see you. Happy to see you as well. Appreciate you here. Janice, thanks for the 10. The haters will overlook the comments. Juice Foreskin Ambulance Chaser. I'm here for real. Missions and crap emotions. They'll only talk about Randy's hands not being clean. The judge is sick of the bickering. Yes, indeed. That's indeed it. And they will, of course. They'll act like they won something. Well, it's because at the end of the day, I wonder if LMNOP understand how bad some of these things read as far as them. Like, they have to come off everything now. And if he would have been halfway competent, you would have probably left a few of those by the wayside. Emma, thanks for the 2. Get some 0 sugar Sprite. It's good. Yeah, I had some 7-Up actually at the house. That 0 sugar. Had some of those. They aren't bad, to be honest. Robert, thanks for the 2. Gatorade fun. Get well soon. Thank you for that. I've been ginger aleing and watering it mostly. Trying to keep it at basics. Joan?
My poor kid. She was drinking that blue Gatorade when she had threw up. And I came up to help her, and the whole toilet was blue.
Oh my God.
It was all blue. I was like, what did you eat? And I just realized, and then I realized, oh, it was the Gatorade.
I did that. I forgot. And I had drank red, that reddish Gatorade. And I got really sick to my stomach, and I threw it, and I thought, oh my God, red,
I'm dying. Is that blood?
Yeah. Oh my
I'm dying.
God. I did. I thought that. I was like, it's bad. It's very bad. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, I may not be dying.
I knew something was bad when I went up to the doctors, though, and they were like, the lady at the window was like, you're not going to fall out on me, are you? And she was like, do we need to get you something? Like I was like, no, I'll be okay. And then the nurses, they're like, oh man, you need to sit down. Actually, you need to lay down. I was like, man, you know, it's bad when they're like, you need to lay down now. Joe, thanks for the 10 there. Breadstick money. Thank you. Appreciate that, Joe. Appreciate you too. Appreciate all of you, by the way. Love y'all. Cynic Chief, thanks for the 2. Tug ties to avoid the meat grinder. I know the little ones, they run the meat grinder. Gotta be careful. Oh, my oldest today came to me and she was like, you know what? There's a movie that came out I really want to see. I was like, you really want to see? So I thought, oh, you know, something kids maybe. Nope. She was like, there's a horror movie. It's Hard Eyes. I was like, Hard Eyes? What the hell?
What?
It sounds, it's a, I haven't looked at it yet to see, you know, what all is in there, like how inappropriate it is. But it was like it's a Valentine's, you know, themed slasher movie, I believe. Hard Eyes. Yeah. I just thought that was really funny. I was like, crazy. Oh, you want to see a kid's? No, not a kid's movie.
Oh, that's funny.
It didn't. It sounds so nice too. Hard Eyes, huh? That sounds nice. And no, it's not. It's a rated R freaking horror / romance somehow.
Oh, good Lord.
John, thanks for the 279. Megan needs a hazmat suit.
Yeah, no joke.
For real.
And I'm trying so hard to like stay out of it, but you know, my kids need things all the time. So I'm like having to bring trays to their rooms and stuff. And the whole time I'm in there, I'm just like, oh dear Jesus, please don't let me get it. Please don't let me get it.
That's yeah, I get that, man. I think I couldn't tell. I think I had a bug as well as all of this other stuff, you know, when it made me really sick.
Oh, and yeah, I'm sure you picked it up in the hospital.
Yeah. And I think I gave it to the little one because either the little one gave me one or I gave it to her, and I think I gave it to her. But she dealt with it like a champ, man. It was amazing. She was like, "Oh, Dad, I don't feel good." Blah, blah. And she's like, "I'm gonna play some more." I was like, "Oh my gosh, man."
Yeah, kids are pretty resilient, but this flu hit my kids really hard. So be careful out there. This flu sucks. Yeah,
it's been rough this year. There's been a lot of people with it around here. SF thanks for the 2, except for Megan's plague mask. Indeed. Bugs Adventure, thanks for the 3 months there. Last night on the fleas, Bubbles said that he called Whatnot. Need to listen to it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that too. Not a smart admission, is it?
It doesn't seem like it. No. But you know what's funny? If he is calling Whatnot, you know what he's calling about. He doesn't like Jeremy selling satire items aimed at him. How much you want to bet? He wants them to stop selling the comic books and not comic books, the coloring books and the macaroni and cheese thing. And like, all I have to say to that is get a life, Bruce. Grow up. People are allowed to make fun of you. It is not against the law to make fun of you. Especially not in those. Did you see the color by number or the connect the dots? It's just silly. Like, calm down.
Well, I thought he was calling because he was trying to secure a panty hamster from his favorite.
That could be. That's true. That could be. Maybe he was.
Yeah, he's. Oh, I sent you that picture too, you know, about the yoga thing somebody put up from one of his interviews. He had that, what was it, yoga from witches or something? I can't remember. It was
yoga for witches. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's set in the background and it's like, wait a minute. I didn't know he was into that. That's bizarre. Maybe that's why he's so mad at you.
Pissed.
Yeah, there it is. Yoga. Yes, somebody posted. They were like, "Is that the book Yoga for Witches?" There, it's like right behind it. I love it. Oh, yep. Connie, thanks for the 11 months. 100 breadsticks a day keeps the flu away. Mug healthcare, indeed. Combat it with breadsticks. I love that idea. I have my favorites. Thanks for the month there. Randy and the legal team working their asses off. BBB's getting away with this BS, telling people to blow off Depo. Indeed, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's just flagrantly sitting out here doing bullshit.
Yeah, like people aren't showing up for depositions. Like, how is this?
They're being instructed not to.
And he's getting away with all of this. But the judge is calling Randy unprofessional. Like, I'm sorry. I'm having a very hard time accepting this. This is bullshit.
I just get I figure we'll have a come to Jesus exposure moment. So I'm waiting for that one. We'll see though. Daily Dysfunction. Thanks for the 2. Thanks for the stream as always. Well, hey, thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. I'm my favorites. Thanks for 2. What the hell's in chat? Yeah, by the way, props to you, Jeremy, and everything again. It's everything we talk about this. I would not wish this case on anyone. Jeremy has had the patience of a fucking saint to deal with it, and it's awful to look at. It's awful for someone to deal with. But Barnyard, Sally, thank you for the 2 there. Bruce is the weirdo whisperer. Indeed. Indeed.
The weirdo whisperer. Yeah. I like that.
Shannon, thanks for the 5 months. Tug, I love your song. Louis, yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, indeed.
Louis. Oh no, we gotta go. Yeah.
Bonnie, thanks for the 2. Hashtag paint chip buffet. Suzanne, thanks for the 10. Monies for the new cable fund. It all makes them mad. That is indeed correct. Yep, and thank you. I do have a new cable coming tomorrow, by the way. I was shocked by how much a stupid cable cost. I was like, what? It costs what now? $30-something. What is that? How do I pronounce that name?
Serindi Fitch.
Serindi, is that right?
Serindi? I don't know.
Is that right? Serindi? I don't know.
Serindi.
Tell me how to pronounce it.
Sirindi. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
C. Finch. Thanks for this 20. For the girls, for whatever they want. Thank you. Tell me how to pronounce your name. I want to know. Tell me in chat. I do. I want to know for real. Like, no joking. I'm trying to keep an eye out for it. Oh, when's May? Okay. It's Serindi. Okay. Yeah.
Serindi. I was right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
I didn't know.
I said Serindi.
Yeah, well, that's my problem, though. Every time I sound something out and think it sounds right, it's usually wrong. So we can get it right. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. And the new docs. Thanks for pointing that out, my friend. Thank you. Lady Horse, thanks for the 5. It now makes a lot of sense with them getting new phones and such. They believe nothing can be done about lost info. Indeed. I mean, they're flagrant about new hardware, though. You notice everybody's getting new laptops. They're updating all their computers. I mean, it's all of them. Like, it's just wild to say. Rebel, thanks for the $10 super sticker on that. Thank you, Rebel. Appreciate you. John, thanks for the 10. Deuce predicted he would have both federal and civil court cases dismissed by summer and will file a lawsuit against What the Hales. He is definitely delusional. Wait, he's going to have the civil. Oh, you're talking about the protective order? That's so bizarre, the bullshit they're aiming at the protective order. That is weird, man. Like for them to even, the stuff they've been pulling with the protective order, like, I would look at that. I would be reporting them for harassment. Like, they talk about it openly. They have recruited people, and they talk about his protective order.
I know.
Openly,
what about third parties? What about third-party contact?
Well, no. I mean, they're setting out here on live streams in front of hundreds of people talking about how they can violate his protective order and make it null and void. So the people can go and harass him more. Like that. By itself, that should be a violation.
It's crazy.
It is. And one of the people there is supposedly a lawyer. here. Good God. And one of the people that they've recruited into this madness, by the way, is a professional criminal, with a hell of a record. So I'd be putting that into papers too.
Oh, yeah.
Niece, thanks for the 10 there. Megan, to pray for your family gets over the flu quickly and that you don't get it. Yes, indeed. You stay safe with that. Hugs to you and your fam. Jackie, thanks for the 2. Poor and old gets a pass. I'm golden. There we go. That's what I'm angling for it. Tech Ball, thanks for the 10. Judge Ritter's handling of the Zachariah Anderson case was horrible. Shows how nothing short of a miracle. It was that Rittenhouse was acquitted. There are so many cases. Like you can
so
find,
many.
Yeah. Any good case you find. Well, Suzanne pointed out too. New docs. Thank you. Appreciate that. Janice, thanks for the 10th there. Deuce Foreskin, the ambulance chaser, is clueless to wit. And I hope Lynette turns him in. He is such a scummy lawyer in person. Well, thank you. It seems like you're a fan. Jack's mom, thanks for the 7 months. I think BBB is just filing stuff to make it look like he's working on their behalf to keep the grift up. People paper cases. They do that. One of the things, though, you have to avoid in papering a case is pissing off a judge. That's a really good way to make a judge mad. Suzanne, thanks for the 5. Eat blue and green Jello before a colonoscopy. Pigs are weird. That's hilarious. Ria, what's up? Thanks for the 5 there. You can get a caffeine-free Diet Coke. Welcome to the low blood pressure crew. I'm just going to avoid it. Like I figure, why even go that route? Like I said, a 7-Up or Sprite if I need it, but otherwise I just avoid it all. That's the smartest way. Keep it away from me. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, Matt, Rick Queen, thanks for the 10 there. To keep a journal, meds, don't be afraid to call before weekend if I'm working well. Yeah, for sure. Megan, alternate Tylenol and Advil. Works better. Add alcohol to water or cold compresses for fast cooling. Yeah, I saw something on alcohol being added to water and other things. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I need to check on her. Actually, I'm gonna jump because I need to go check and make sure that her fever stayed down.
I'm almost done anyway, so we're good.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too. I'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Jack pointed out that Hard Eye's a slasher. That's what I was saying. That was the funny thing. The little one, the oldest, she's still 11 though, and she's like, I want to see a slasher. I'm like, what? But she presented Hard Eyes like it was like it was a kid's film. And it does that not sound like some kind of kid's film or something when it's first thrown out there? Does it Heart Eyes? Does that sound like a freaking slasher film to you? Like, because when I heard it, I was like, what? Wait, what? Well, I thought there was something up anyway, because that sounded way too nice. You know what I mean? But that just doesn't sound like a slasher film name, period. Heart Eyes. Thank you, Jack, too. Coyote Bait, thanks for the 5. Lost trust in our judicial system long ago. Sad, indeed. Right there with you, my friend. I've been feeling that for a long time there. Keith, thanks for the month there. Methinks it's time for a real proctologist exam. A judge smells too fishy. I think judges a lot of times too, they want to see people all being professional. They want to look at things and they want it to just make sense. They don't want to imagine that a lawyer, not a lawyer, but a lawyer is doing what we're seeing with BBB. I mean, if I were to just tell you outside of this case that there's a guy out there that has been doing all of this insanity, has been getting involved, would you think that? Well, would you be like, yeah, well, maybe you're exaggerating or something? If you didn't see it playing out yourself, wouldn't you think it sounded a little insane? Sounds like a Hallmark movie. I know it does, doesn't it? And Janice, thanks for the 10 there. Tug, call your pharmacist about your meds if you have questions. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. A valuable resource. And remember, your doctor only had 1 semester of pharmacology. That's true too. How meds work. We have 4 years of it. Indeed. Actually, with it, it's just getting used to it. Again, these are the main medication that I'm taking right now. I've got on that. I've got on my Zeo, which is a heart monitor. You know, it's I wear it for 14 days. Then it takes so many days to get it back. I have an entire workup of my heart and everything in the next month. So when all of that comes together, I'll have everything put together with that. Plus, but right now I've got a medication that is for low blood pressure, and my blood pressure has been insanely low. Oh, yeah. So some of the, and I'm trying to get used to it. Again, this is the 3rd day, but I had not alternated the times. Like I said, it works the way it describes it. And the pharmacist talked about this too, but I was doing some research on it. It works for about 4 hours. So, you know, it stays in your body, but its active range is about 4 hours. So for the really active portions of your day, yeah, usually, like if you were just working, if you were going to a 9 to 5, you get up, you go to work, you know, you get up, you take your thing after you get going, whatever. But for this, it's a little different. So for me, I wasn't timing it well. I was taking it like when I got up, like I was going to work, then coming back home, you know, and having a cool down period, because you can't take it, I think 3 hours before bed, because it raises your blood pressure. So you can't do it that way. But my timing, like yesterday, I didn't leave enough time on the back end. So it just crashes everything out. So got to fix it, got to pick it up. But I think I did better this time. But anyway, I'm going to end here. I'm about out of it now. Like I said, if I have to end one day or something, I'll tell everybody that every day. But I'm going to call it with this one. And I appreciate you folks. You know, like I said, it's a work in progress. But I appreciate y'all being here. We'll see you tomorrow.